If the name Schea Cotton sounds familiar, it's because he was one of the biggest prep basketball stars this area has ever known.
By the time I was 15 years old, I was considered one of the best players in the country.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was like a rock star at 13 years old.
When I first saw him, it was something I'd never seen.
Schea Cotton.
Schea Cotton.
Schea Cotton.
Schea Cotton.
Schea Cotton was like LeBron James before there ever was a LeBron James.
There's no way that this dude is the same age as everybody else.
If you don't do nothing wrong, and you don't take no money, and you don't cheat on no tests, you're at the top, and you're on your way, in one day it's taken from you.
Just as much as they'll build you up, it's twice as easy for them to tear you down.
People still calling you by your first and last name 20 years later, that means something.
Google Schea Cotton, you'll see.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It's good to be back. Bros for Real, Kingdom Focus. What's up, Pastor Willie?
What's up, Pastor Trey?
Man, I'm like crazy excited right now. I'm trying to keep myself calm because y'all know I'll be gone sometime. But look, man, we are about to do an interview with the man of the hour, Schea Cotton. Man, he has a documentary out right now on all streaming platforms except for Netflix, but we're gonna get on Netflix, right? But this is Schea Cotton. We're gonna interview him. Look for his documentary, is Man-Child, the Schea Cotton story. We're gonna come back in just a few seconds. Cool with you, Pastor Willie?
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Peace. So this the elementary school
right.
where you was dunking and when you
Right.
was 6 years old.
Hey, Schea, man, tell us about this, man. Where are we right now, bro?
Man, we are in San Pedro, the LA Harbor area. We are at Cabrillo Avenue Elementary School where it all started for me. I think right around the 6th grade is when I caught my first dunk. I was about 5'9" at this time.
Hey, you about Trey height then.
Yeah.
Trey, aren't you about 5'12"?
Man, come on. Hey, in 6th grade, I think I was dunking. Now, anybody from my hometown watching this, I wasn't dunking. Y'all know that.
Yeah, I wasn't dunking in no 6th grade either.
So we used to look forward to lunchtime. I'd be out here terrorizing on the courts. Right behind the school, there's some basketball courts on the blacktop. I used to look forward to that. This is where it all started, man. I dreamed big. You know, my goal here was to be one of the best players to come out of Pedro, and I feel like I accomplished my goal. And, you know, I want this to be a lesson for a lot of kids up and coming that you can do anything you put your mind to. You know, I came up in this area with all the gangs and the drugs and everything we dealt with that a lot of the kids still deal with today. And believe me, you know, it's diamonds in the rough. You know, if you want something bad enough, you make sacrifices and you'll get to your goals.
Come on, that's good. That's
Man,
good.
Hey, man. Hey, boy.
I'm just
Diamond
saying,
in the
man.
rough. We out here in California with Schea Cotton.
And that, what is this, the LBC?
This is San Pedro. So this is
San
the LA
Pedro?
Harbor area.
So that's LA Harbor area. I just wanted to say LBC.
He just wanted, yeah, he
I
like,
didn't want to
be
say
there.
LBC,
We going that way after this.
Hey, so God got us in the LBC, San
no,
Pedro, whatever.
Y'all pray for Trey. All right.
So this is one piece. They've remodeled it. I'm not sure. That looks like some of the daycare maybe. Now the gyms is on the corner. Yeah. So the last building is pretty much the gymnasium and it goes back. They usually have like an area here where they used to shoot pool and stuff. So as I walked in, I would go into the left and then you could shoot pool and they had caroms and stuff like that. It looks like it's been fully renovated.
Yeah, that looks nice.
Wow.
Yeah, they remodeled it. This is totally different. It's
So
been
was
a
this
while.
like the is this like the place where kids would get away though?
Oh yeah.
I mean, to stay safe in the community.
Yeah,
or?
this is a safe haven. So the Boys and Girls Clubs are great. What they do, they take kids underprivileged, ideally, after school programs, and they get them off the street. They tutor them, homework help. They have a music component here with art and doing different things with life skills components, and they have sports activities as well. You can play and stuff like that. It's not as extensive as stuff that we do as far as basketball, but it gives kids opportunities to explore, as athletes too. And for me, I went to middle school right down the street at Dana Junior High School. I mean, it's that big old structure on the right up there. And I would literally walk home from school and come right into the Boys and Girls Club. And I can't tell you how many days that this place saved my life when I was a kid.
That's good.
While I was waiting for my mom to get off work and come pick me up and stuff like that, and hanging out with my cousins. You know, they would go to the high school, so they'd come down the hill when we get out and we'd meet, and sometimes we walk over here together. But without this facility right here, a lot of kids probably would have lost their lives to the streets for sure. And be more statistics. And
that's where that passion come from, man, for kids that you got. Because that's what you've been talking about in the car, man. It's the kids, it's the kids.
Absolutely.
Being there for the kids, man. I see it.
Because nobody else is doing it. And I'm looking at all my peers. I mean, I'm talking about guys that made over 100 million apiece. Right. And it's like, what are you doing substantially to give back to our community? Right. Like, you just want to take from the universe then. That's not how my heart works. And I know that God is setting the table now where he's bringing in the powers that be to help make this thing a lot easier and expedited where it's efficient.
Cool. That's good.
Academy of Ideas, just remember that name. Man-child is the game, but Academy of Ideas is the name to remember. That's it.
I like that. That's kingdom.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Kingdom focus. Hey, we rolling to the next spot.
Yeah. Schea, man, where are we at now, bro? Tell us about what's going on.
This is Dana Junior High. Used to be junior high. I guess they call it middle school now. This is LA Unified School in San Pedro. This is where I really started coming into my own. I'm in the 7th grade here, and I'm just terrorizing everybody all the way down the 110 freeway, man. I mean, I love it. I had a blast. You know, they started calling me the man-child right around this time. So. Right. I want y'all to understand, in the 7th grade, I was playing with the high school guys, killing them because I was playing against my brother every day. He was beating me up, and he was one of the tougher defenders, so I wasn't running from nobody. Right. And here, we had our own school team. I played on the school team. I played on my AAU team, and then I took my whoopings from the older guys every day on the playground at the same time. And at lunch, I let them have it. So I would get whooped on after school, we get the older guys, and I come back the next day at school and just have my way with my peers. So, and that's kind of how I started to ascend, testing myself, applying it, and just keep putting myself in the fire. And
I like that, keep putting myself in the fire.
Yeah.
See, people don't want to go through nothing, man. Yeah. And the Bible talks about, man, that you gotta persevere. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be tested in the fire, and that's why you was able to become great, man.
Absolutely. God had a plan, and you know, I answered the call. I mean, that was the difference. I worked hard, and I showed up every night when it was time to play, and there's something to be said for that. I think people need to really, really understand what that really is. Showing up every night when you're sore, when you don't feel good, no matter what the situation is. If you're able to play, you should be able to produce.
Come on, all this sitting out. Yeah. LeBron, get in the game. That's my dude.
Hey, that's what's up, man. We just around trying to make sure we preparing you guys for the interview, and we want to show you guys where the different things that Schea went through, like you talked about, refining in the fire. Hey, until the next one.
Yeah, being resilient. Being resilient. Hey, we about to do this thing, man. Schea Cotton, man, the man-child just brought us over here to Busy Bees. Man,
what you doing?
Dude, I'm about to get one of these sandwiches, man.
What you doing without me? See, he's trying to do his own thing,
y'all don't know, San Pedro, you cannot come here and not get one of these sandwiches.
Man, he don't know what you're talking about. Schea, tell us what's really happening.
Hey.
We're at Pedro. It's Busy Bees. The staple best sandwiches in town. If you ever come to Pedro, make sure you go to Busy Bees. This is hands down the spot. I've been coming here since we high. All my family members.
That's been a long time since he was we high.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming, man. I'm telling you, every time I'm in Pedro, when I want a sandwich, I'm coming to Busy Bees. So I'm telling you right now, in the LA Harbor area, this is the spot.
Get the Busy Bees. Let's do it. Busy Bees.
Yeah, we in Pedro at Busy Bees. This is the spot in town, the best sandwiches in town. They in the back, putting it together. Got this chicken. This barbecue chicken is one of the staples right here. If you ever come to Pedro, make sure you come and get this.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. See Trey
got two.
All right, so I just want to say, talk is cheap. Seeing is believing. Take a look at this sandwich. This is the barbecue chicken
This is
sandwich
what you do.
from Busy Bee Market right here. This is what you come and get. I'm promoting them and they ain't getting paid for this, so you know it's got to be good, all right? Man Child signing off.
Hey, Schea said that you got to eat it. Like right when you get it, you come outside and you got to get some of it in. That's why we stand outside, so Schea can get his bites in.
You got to eat it right over the trash can.
Eat it right around the trash can. That's how you do it. So when we come back, we already full. So we come back, we gonna get one. We gonna eat it right here in this spot. Bros for real.
Let it get all over your mouth and everything. My father passing, you know, with the completion of the documentary, it's been challenging. You know, trying to get that perspective from somebody that was the rock in our family that's no longer here. I have to lean on everything he taught me and life lessons and, you know, my faith in God and just praying for him to reveal my truth on where he's going to place me in this world that we're living in. Because they say you're in the world but not of the world.
Come on, man. You about to preach, boy. You better preach, boy.
I tell people I'm Marvin the Martian. You know what I'm saying? I really don't belong here. I'm here for a short time, but while I'm here, we're going to do a whole lot for a lot of people.
Right.
You bring a village with you. It's, what have you done, my good and faithful servant?
Come on,
when it's all over with. So I take those things to heart. And we have beautiful landscapes in our country. I really feel like this is the best country in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot that we have to offer, but we got to change our perspective and our intention. I think it's about service rather than receiving.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, Jesus said it, and I believe it's in Matthew 23:11. I hope I'm not misquoting, but he said when he was cleaning the disciples' feet, he said, "The greatest among you is a servant."
Come on.
And man, you served us, and you didn't have to. You know, even just the time that you spent talking to us on the phone via messages and Zoom, all those different things. Because in reality, as the world standards, we don't even deserve the right to even be friends with you, you know. But man, your humility has just been phenomenal, man. And I love the way that you even give homage to your father. Because a lot of men, especially us black men, a lot of times our fathers are not in the picture. And your father was there even until the end, you know, of the documentary. But man, that's pretty awesome, man. So thank you, bro.
Thank you guys for this opportunity, you know, just to be able to connect. You know, like I said, just being a man of integrity.
I was about to laugh, man, because I was sitting there thinking, like, when you hugged him, you was up there. I was like, if he hugged me, I'm gonna be all all in Shea's stomach, like. I was like, if he grabbed me,
like, I hope he come down.
Right, come down, Schea.
Hey, or you the Trey, you know how you be like,
right.
like when we be in some pictures,
Man, I had a Kevin Hart moment. I was like, he about to hurt me.
Boy, you funny.
So, man, like I said, I wanted to make it happen. I know you guys been on the road traveling, and we just started the Man Child Grassroots Tour. Really excited about that because it's going right into the basketball community all across America.
Right.
And that's something that we haven't had an opportunity for. With it being with Amazon Prime and iTunes and, you know, these different platforms, Tubi TV, it's great, but it's nothing like that personal interaction up close. You know, you get a chance to see it, and then I'm doing a Q&A, and you can answer any question for an hour. You got me. It's more powerful than just a doc by itself. So we're really encouraging people to tap in and inquire about our tour, you know, for schools and colleges and things like that moving forward.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Because I was saying earlier that, man, I want everybody to see this documentary, man, because it's about hard work, discipline, commitment, and one of the biggest things I saw in the documentary was resilience. And I think that's one of the biggest things we need to teach our children today, because this generation ain't too big on resilience. You know, we don't understand that, man. Failure kind of makes you. You know, sometimes we're all going to fail at some point, right? Everything's not going to be, you know, I tell my students at school, you know, Krispy Kreme and Dunkin' Donuts and Ding Dongs, you know, it's not going to be easy. And so we need to go out, man, check out this documentary because, man, Schea got a story to tell. So, but man, this view is just amazing. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Beautiful day too. The weather's good. Couldn't have picked a better weekend.
Man, this is awesome. All right, man. So we're back. It is so good to be back again, to have this opportunity to speak with Schea Cotton. Man, an amazing man of God, amazing athlete. And you guys are going to hear his story today because God is doing some amazing things, not only in America, but around the world. Schea has traveled overseas. So hopefully we'll get into all that. But we're going to go ahead and get started. What's up, Pastor Willie? You got something for us?
Man, I do. But before we get started, Schea, man, a lot of people don't, know maybe on our platform who Schea Cotton is.
Yeah.
So before I get into my question, just give them a little snippet on who Schea Cotton is, man.
Yeah.
Why would God allow us, to connect like He is, so we can meet Schea Cotton for the rest of the world?
Well, Schea Cotton is a man, a myth, a legend.
Come on, boy, you better come
somebody
on.
that did a lot from a young age. A child celebrity in Los Angeles. I became one of the top players in the country in 1995. Graced the cover of Sports Illustrated as a sophomore in high school. And I broke titles here that still haven't been duplicated. I was a State Player of the Year, CIF Player of the Year, John Wooden Player of the Year in 1995 in the state of California. Still hasn't been done since. Played for the winningest coach in the state of California, Gary McKnight at Mater Dei High School. So I've done a lot, to say the least, in my basketball career, but now I'm focusing on a life of service, helping a lot of people nationwide as well as international.
Man, I like that because before, when you kind of wrapped it up, when Jesus said that in Matthew 23:11, He said the greatest among us is a servant. Mm-hmm. And you say, hey, after all those accolades, so to speak, I'm here to serve. So I'm gonna ask that then. So when you was growing up, man, and now that God has allowed you to get to the place to where you are now, what would you say was your greatest attribute then? And what do you think as God has allowed things to evolve, what would you believe that is your greatest attribute now?
That's a good question.
Great question. I think growing up, it was probably my discipline, paying attention to detail, really fine tuning everything, making sure I stayed sharp. I was always about look and feel and I wanted to have everything kind of laid out, so I would always prepare for whatever I embarked on, so I didn't have any surprises. I think today the Lord is moving through me in a way of dealing with me, patience. Patience being a virtue of life, and I think sacrifice.
Oh man,
that's
and
good.
What about now? What would you think that your greatest attribute is now?
I think commitment. I would say, my commitment. I stay committed to my commitments, and I think just having a heart for the Lord and understanding, being obedient.
Amen.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Well, Schea, we talked yesterday, and I had an opportunity, and hopefully a lot of people will go out and watch the documentary, because that documentary, I know for me and my wife, we were at home on a Sunday after service, and we watched it, and it just blessed our life. And to be able to have an opportunity to reach out to you, and then for you to respond, it's been amazing. So speaking about the documentary, you can see in the documentary that you have a heart for service. And I mean, you were so committed to your craft, like you talked about commitment. Then also from that documentary, I got that, you were hardworking. I noticed that, you had to be resilient. There's some resilience, man. There was some disappointments in that documentary. Now, after going from being like this high school phenom, right, where everyone in the nation knew you, you have all these people pulling at you, Sports Illustrated, all the recruiters coming or whatever. Can you tell the people, after going through all that, knowing that, or hoping one day that you will be in the NBA and then that not manifesting, what was that disappointment like? How does that feel, and how do you get through that?
Great question. I think it's a process I went through. I was in depression for almost 15 years, in and out of suicidal contemplation over and over again.
Whoa. You can't say that.
Schea,
you can't just say
Wait
that
a minute.
real quick, man.
Hold on, suicidal ideation.
But I wanted to go over this bridge, everybody, because I wanted to be known when I talked about my suicidal moments and stuff in my film. This is the bridge that I would often go over sometimes when I was in my darkness, contemplating numerous times just driving my car off this bridge. We're probably over 500 feet in the air right now at the top of the bridge, and believe me, it's a long way down. And the thing that kept me from actually going through with those thoughts was the idea of what I would leave behind and what I would lose. You know, when we're in our darkness, we're not thinking about how we can get out of it. We just want to end it. We don't want to feel anything no more. We're tired. So you got to gleam to something that's bigger than you. You got to think about something that's stronger than that adversity that you're feeling at that moment. And nobody wants to talk about mental health, but you know, the reason why I'm here is my faith in God. I think He had a plan for me that was greater than what I could see when I was playing. And now He's starting to reveal it to me piece by piece. So, you know, patience is a virtue, and it's important for us to be steadfast in our faith as well as our pursuit in life. And I tell people to stay committed to your commitments, and you do things that you hate like you love it, and you'd be surprised what you can accomplish. Yeah, just, you know, different variations. You know, I'd be here and then I'm not here, and I'm waking up like, is this really happening? You know, you go from a guy that was the #1 player in North America to like a whooping boy in a way, and then everybody's attacking you, and you know, false accusation, and you know, defamation of character and all this stuff. Through my time playing, it was a very, very unforgettable experience, good and bad. And I think trying to find a happy medium when it was spiraling downhill, and you know, kind of everybody just kind of fleeing when they thought that, you know, things weren't going to work out. That's what was really tough. You go from, you know, being idolized and being adored to a feeling of not even resentment, just unfulfilled. You know, feeling like, what's my purpose?
Right.
What am I here for now?
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
He blessed me with all this talent for what? For all this adversity now, or all these trials, or is there something greater? So
Come on, man.
after managing that, you know, I basically gave my life to the Lord probably 12 years back. I think wholeheartedly, just waking up in the morning, giving Him His time. You know, throughout the day, I'd be in the car listening to scripture and motivational stuff that basically reflects the word at the end of the day. You know, whether it be Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, you know, Les Brown, Dr. Miles Monroe, they all revert back to Christianity. It's interesting that no matter what we face, the answers are in the good book. It's kind of funny how that works. So,
Yeah, that's good stuff.
yeah, so I think the Lord has been my strength, and I think I don't take that lightly. I think people they resort to the Lord when they're in need. But you got to resort to Him when things are going good too. You know, you need to give Him His time on the daily. So I've focused on that, and I've taken that serious.
Man, 'cause that had to be something. Because I, in my mind, as you're talking, I was thinking about if I would have been the #1 athlete in high school
in America.
In America, right? And you would put Trey in Sports Illustrated. You know, because I saw you was in Sports Illustrated, Shea, and you was kind of like laid out. Like I was like, look at Shea, man, like 9th grade or something. And so I just think like that had to be hard, man. So is it possible? I don't know if you want to or not, but just to kind of talk about that day when you knew I'm about to kill myself. Yeah. I mean, let's call it what it is, right? Yeah, like I'm about to leave this place right now. This is too heavy for me as a 9th grader or whatever, right? Yeah. So what was that day like?
It was heavy, a lot of confusion in my head. I just felt I was exhausted, you know, mentally, physically, emotionally, you know, showing up every day, things aren't working out. You're the best player that's around, and all these trials are being thrown on you, and you're trying to put it together like, well, where did I go wrong to deserve this? You know, and I kept coming up blank. I didn't have anything, and I'm praying about stuff and trying to stay tied into my family, and I'm losing it at the same time because I'm like, man, this isn't supposed to be happening. Yeah. How am I going to endure this? So I got to a point where it just felt like it was too much. I think that day I just was kind of like empty, and I was like, yeah, this might be it, you know. And you know, I have experiences we talked about in the documentary without giving up too much. I think everybody has a point where they can follow the warfare in their mind. Or you can follow the truth of, you know, what God says about us. Right. And I think that's the difference for me. I started thinking about what would life be like when I'm gone, if I pulled the trigger, because I had a 357 up to my head. So, and what would life be like? Who would I hurt? The loved ones that I would leave behind that maybe I'm not thinking about right now because I'm in the moment and I want to get out of pain. Right. You know, so the mental health piece is big. It's real. And stuff that I still deal with today. I'm not completely out of the woods. You know, it's a daily thing. It's practices, it's rituals that I go through to keep myself lifted up. As soon as my feet touch the floor, I give God, you know, his praise and glory for waking me up. And then I work from there, listening to motivational stuff, doing things to pour into myself so I can help others. Otherwise, I'm gonna be empty all over and everybody's pulling at me, but I have nothing to give if I'm not feeding my own self.
Come on, you getting that word in you.
Absolutely.
Come on, man.
Absolutely.
The Bible talks about that, man. Faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word. Come on,
Man,
Pastor Willie.
so Schea, man, I'm so grateful that God allowed you to make it through, to persevere through everything, from being the #1 guy, being flown from, you know, to win a championship game and different things like that. But one of the greatest things that I hear from you is how God has helped you and he's blessed you and he's helped you persevere through all the different things that you've been faced with in life, right? So what would you say as a Christian, as a fellow believer? Obviously we all love the Lord. What would you say for you does it mean to stand for Christ? What does it mean for you as a believer to stand for Christ in the midst of all the different, let's keep it 100, the adversity that you've been through?
Right. That means everything. I think to be able to stand for him is something that I think people overlook because everybody talks about faith and, and how strong they believe, but when they're battle tested, a lot of people fail those tests. They're looking for a scapegoat. They're looking for the easy way out, but the lessons, they lie in the adversity. So like standing for him is big now because I don't deny the faith. When people ask me, I profess it, and that's right. Yeah. That's something that you have to have courage in this world, understanding that, when there's a calling on your life, there's gonna be a trial that comes with that. And you can't have no testimony without the test. So God is allowing me to go through all these trials and these adversities because, I'm built for it. He gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. Yes, and I've taken that to heart as well. But, that truth for me, knowing that he's there with me all the way through is what gives me peace in my soul, knowing that it's going to be okay. No matter what it looks like in the physical, in the spiritual realm, he can do whatever. When we're open and we're vulnerable and really living a life of service, that's when miracles can happen.
Wow.
Man,
so can I go?
Yeah,
so
bro.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's good.
So watching the documentary, we had an opportunity, those of us that watched it, to see your dad.
Yeah.
I was watching it, man, and I didn't grow up with my father. And so I was like, man, he seems so awesome, man.
Yeah.
Seems strong, and Lord rest his soul. What was it like being that superstar athlete, man? #1 in the nation, the #1 prospect, this and that. How was home life?
Yeah. Home life was it was normal for the most part.
Cause your dad seemed like he wasn't letting you get away with nothing.
Nah, he was believe me, he was the outlaw, we called him. So yeah, Pops didn't play, man. And
Right.
my mom was stern, she's strong-willed, very loving. More socially inclined than my father. She was very extroverted in that way. So they were a good combination. My father was more reserved, but we always said he's like E.F. Hutton. When he talked, you're gonna listen. So, he led by example.
Come on.
This was a man that would get up at 5:30 every morning, work all day, come back at 7. Right. My mom would have food ready, his bath water would be ran, and we would have conversation at the table. But I learned watching him more than anything. We'd have conversations and stuff, and his whole thing was he was teaching me and my brother to be strong men of faith, men of integrity,
right,
and high character.
Your dad was teaching you that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And having high character because that carries you a lot further than the sport. I mean, obviously I'm 43 years old today. I've been retired since I was 30 playing basketball. And this is a whole new world for me that I'm in. Like, this business realm, dealing with kids, the work we're doing today. A lot of that I attribute my work ethic to my father, what he instilled in me and my brother, and just the support from my mother as well.
Man,
that's good stuff. Yeah. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I got a question I want to ask about your foundation. It's Academy of Ideas, right?
Correct.
So Academy of Ideas, let's talk about that because you talked about young people. So this passion that you have for young people, how did you think about the Academy of Ideas? Why that name, and then what is that association all about?
Well, the Academy of Ideas was created to give kids of color, primarily in the inner cities of North America, opportunities, particularly in the Los Angeles County. Right now is where we're based, but we want to extend, obviously. But the module that we're creating is something to help kids get off the streets, out of school, after school program that will help save lives through academia, through athletics, as well as art. So the idea component of Academy of Ideas is inclusion, diversity, equity, access, and solutions. So that's the abbreviation in the long form. And what that entails is everything that the child would need from adolescence to young adulthood to help them be successful. So the goal is no child left behind. Our slogan is everyone deserves the VIP experience. And that's what we mean. We intend to stand behind that. Yeah. So that's the kids getting the higher end of the clothing, the finest shoes that we can afford through our resources, all of the academic resources they need, tutorials, homework help, any teachers that they may need in weak subjects to get, help to get the grades up so they can not only be eligible to play, but eligible to graduate high school, have an opportunity to go to college on a scholarship, or go right into a trade to become a success. So we change statistics into success stories, and then we can change our narratives in our inner cities of North America.
Okay, so I got another question because it's a personal question because I'm actually at a high school. And so I'm just wondering if you guys have cracked the nut when it comes to the really getting the engagement of parents. Because with the foundation, you talk about Academy of Ideas, you got the kid part, right? And you guys are pulling the kids in to help them. But how do you gain that? What's the best way to gain that parent support? Have you guys figured that piece out?
Yeah, we're working on that too. I think we have, my mother's gonna administer a forum that will work with the student athletes' parents as well as their kids also. Just teaching them the ins and outs of what's up ahead and what it looks like if you get on that hamster wheel and you start taking money, what that looks like too. Right. And understanding that, as a child, they're looking at you as a product. Right. They're thinking 5, 6 years down the road. Yeah. But they don't talk about that because that's the realities of the business. Yeah. They want to still look at it as, oh, it's innocent, it's a sport, they're kids, just let them play. But, these coaches and these handlers and people behind the scenes are making tons of money off these kids. Right. But what are the kids getting out of it? And the parents that are living vicariously through the kids, you're setting these kids up for failure.
Because some of the kids gonna get heartbroken because it's only so many spots in the league.
Right.
And that's NFL, NBA, whatever. Right. But nobody's telling that part of it. Right. So what happens when that disappointment comes? What happens if the kid don't make it, right?
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing today, because a lot of kids won't be as resilient as I've been. They won't have the support that I've had to help keep me going, nor the steadfastness and the understanding that, the Creator sometimes lets unfortunate things happen because he calls those individuals to a greater purpose in the process. And we have to understand that I had to take myself out of the equation. Right. Now, it's been tough because you look talking to somebody that's probably one of the best to ever lace up out of this city in the last 25, 30 years. Right. And I get to watch all my peers make the bag that I didn't get and still had to make something of myself without looking to other people trying to find fault and point blame, but deal with the ownership.
That's what I'm saying, man. I know that had to be hard because you looking at the Kobe's and the Garnetts, and I saw the documentary, and you playing against all these guys. I heard Meta World Peace, like, hold on, man. We not going to the NBA if Schea Cotton is if he's the bar that we have to meet.
Right. It's like, man, we might not even get a spot.
We might not get a spot because we know Schea going now. If he going and we ain't playing as good as this guy, right? So to see all these guys that you were, I hate to say like beating up on, but you was right doing your thing, right? And they were looking up to you, and now they in the league, and they're not. That's a hard thing for a young person, man. Yeah. To say, wait a minute, those millions of dollars I could have had, and I'm telling you, been at the high school, I hear every kid around me, I'm going to the NFL, but they got straight Fs, right? I'm going to the NBA, but they have no commitment, they no discipline, they lazy, and it's trying to give them to see like, man, you got to get your grades in school. You got to have, something else, because I hate to say it, but it's 1 in a million. Right. Is that fair to say?
It is.
Some people say, oh, you shoot down their dream.
Right. No, I think I call it the blatant truth. You have to know what you're embarking on.
Right.
If I'm just pie in the sky and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, but I don't really know what it takes to really put in to get something out of that, I'm wasting my time. And a lot of people are telling kids, oh yeah, you can make it, just keep going. Yeah, you can make it in life, but that don't mean you're going to be a professional athlete. Right. Like, you have less than a 1% chance to make it in the NBA, and there's only so many jobs, and there's a lot of guarantees on that roster. So if guys aren't a free agent, where's the opportunity? People need to understand the dynamic first. Education is very important. You have to have your grades. You can't get into college without education. How are you going to read the plays? Okay? How are you going to interact with your teammates? You got to have social skills too. And then off the court, what does that integrity look like? Are you dependable? Are you responsible? These things are intangibles that kids have to have.
And see, you was getting that stuff at home.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we was talking about your pops.
Right.
Dad was like, hey, we not giving you anything, you're gonna work for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be respectful, stuff like that. Man, some of the kids today, man, just that respect for adults ain't even there.
Right.
I like your foundation, man, because we got opportunity to teach the kids that stuff.
Absolutely.
That's good stuff, man.
So my next question, especially, it may be intertwined with what we've been talking about. So many athletes come into the league, we kind of briefly talked about it yesterday. A lot of them have a good foundation, that they love the Lord and various different things like that. But it seems, in your opinion, what do you think the shift has been when they come into the league? Oh, I love Jesus. But then when they get into the league, sometimes you don't even know what their faith is, because that's a whole different realm. Yes, as you mentioned, they have to make sure that academically that they're sound. They have to make sure that they know how to, have their interpersonal skills.
Yep.
But a lot of people are compromising when they go into a different realm. In your opinion, what do you think could possibly be the problem?
That's a great question. I think, just the money. There's so much money that comes into your hands at that point. A lot of guys lose a sense of self, and I think, some guys may sign that covenant, that has nothing to do with our Creator.
Right.
At the end of the day, for the riches and the extras, I guess the greed comes in, like you said.
Right.
And everybody has their own cross to bear.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you have to look in the mirror and be accountable for your actions. And I can't speak for why guys change, why they don't do more, why they don't profess their faith enough.
Right.
I think on some level that they don't want you to. Nobody really talks about that, but that goes back to what I said a minute ago. When people ask me about my faith, I don't deny it.
Right.
I don't really care what's on the other side, because he can do whatever.
Come on.
So ain't nobody stronger than that for us.
That's right.
So my position is different, because the challenges, the battles I fought, the hell that I had to go through to be here.
Right.
I don't really care about what people feel, as long as he's happy with me, he's opening the doors that I'm praying for. I'm on the right track.
That's right.
That's good.
He said, if you're ashamed of me before men, I'll be ashamed of you before the Father.
That's right.
So you decided in your heart, no matter come hell or high water, I am going to not deny Christ. And man, that's awesome. So my next question would be, you played overseas, you didn't, it's not like, your talent was wasted, because it's still not wasted, because you've been a blessing to so many people, not just the youth, but to so many people. So you had an opportunity to play overseas for at least 10 years, right? So what would you do differently if you had an opportunity to hit reset?
I would have never went to college. I would have just probably came out of the high school. I think I knew I had the tools. I had a good team around me with my trainer and my shooting coach, and just my workout regimen and my whole process. It was an NBA-like situation already in high school. So I would have made the jump. I wouldn't even went to college, because ultimately college is what kind of stifled my growth from high school to the time I finally got a chance to play, which was 2 years post high school, to finally step on a D1 court in the SEC, to play on national television. It was tough. I mean, it took a lot out of me to finally get there, and then to get there, and then for the coach to lie to me, and then not to be played in my natural position.
Right.
So when everybody's watching, they're like, well, yeah, he look all right, but he looks different. anybody would look different if they being played out of position, including LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe. Ain't nobody exempt.
Right.
Your talent ain't that special. So you have to be shown in the right light in order for things to work. But I think God was doing something then too in me.
Come on, boy.
Through the fire, I was,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
okay, now I was being refined, and I'm saying to myself, these dudes ain't polished like me now. Yeah, y'all got that bag from the hoop, but we still got a lot of life in front of us. And what are you doing to help others? What are you doing to make this place better?
Well, I like Pastor Willie's question because I was going to think about asking you, like, if you can go back, what would you say to 15-year-old Schea? I mean, I was thinking, okay, 15, because you was like crushing them in 9th grade. Like, that's when they were calling you the man child. Like, you was, I mean, when I say crushing them, I'm going to be like the guy that was in the documentary. He said they was dunking.
Right.
Schea was dunking.
Right. That's my man Chris. Yeah. Shout out to Chris Rivers.
Man, I love the documentary.
Thank you.
Man, so what would you say to that young Schea?
Great
If
question.
you could talk to him today.
If I could talk to young Schea today, I'd probably still tell him to stay humble, stay focused.
You pretty humble though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I just credit to my parents, you know, and just adversities of life. God has done it to me, you know, in a different way. But I'd probably say stay humble, stay focused, and don't read your articles.
don't read the articles?
Yeah, don't read your articles.
So you say that. I got to ask you this. I've been wanting to know. So when you saw that Sports Illustrated edition, did you read it?
I didn't.
You didn't read the article?
I didn't read it, no.
I mean, you was laid out. You didn't just take a peek?
I just read the caption.
That's it?
Because I always told myself while I was playing, I'm not going to get caught up in all of the hoopla.
So you was a lot more mature, man. Because I mean, there's a lot of guys that would have messed. I'm in Sports Illustrated. Yeah. You know, because I remember a guy when I was in high school
doing it like that.
It was a kid that I think they were considering putting in Sports Illustrated, Wheaties box, something like that. But he was real good in football back then. And I don't know whatever happened to him, but I think he had went to Michigan and played football or something like that. But just seeing you in that Sports Illustrated, I was like, man, in the 9th grade, that's unheard of. That's crazy. You know, so I applaud you.
Yeah.
I applaud you for staying focused, your parents for keeping you focused, keeping you humble. I want to ask you about legacy. And I'm wondering, is that something right now in Shea's life that he's thinking about? Like, what is Shea's legacy going to be? So when you think about legacy, if you're thinking about it, what does that look like for Schea Cotton?
That's a good question. Legacy to me is what you leave behind when you're gone, what you stand for, what people say about you. It's kind of like character in a way, what they say about you when you're not around, and how you've impacted lives with your time. You know, and I live that today. I think that's why Academy of Ideas has been created. I think that's why we have this man-child documentary, because it's a teaching tool for a lot of people, kids, you know, adults, grandparents, everybody in between. I think legacy to me, when I think about my life today, is how many people can I impact in my life every day that God wakes me up, and at what level? You know, I think about forums. I see. You know, you think of concerts. I see arenas. I see stadiums. You know, I see boardrooms. I see myself going to Canon and speak to their board. You know, I see myself going to Hewlett Packard and all these big time corporations, because everybody deals with adversity. This isn't really about sport. This is the Man-Child documentary is a humanitarian story. It's about a family, 2 brothers, the younger one that was anointed, and everybody thought it was going to work, and it didn't. And it's what God is doing through me today that's more special than even when I played. And I think that's what kids feel when they come in contact with me: the conviction, the insight, the discernment, you know, and the sincerity.
Right.
That's what I felt like coming through the camera on the documentary. I was like, man, this guy is real.
Right.
Like, because some of the stuff you were saying, you know, I was like, everybody's not going to say that.
Nah.
And handle it as well as you did.
Right.
You know?
So I'm gonna roll right into my next question. So when I think about everything that you just said, I personally believe that God protected you from the NBA. Because of what you're doing, and you just talked about the legacy. I believe your legacy will go a lot further now than it would have in the National Basketball League, because then they would have tried to take credit. Right. They would have tried, oh well, you're only got this stage because of us. No. God don't want nobody to share His glory. Right. So I just believe, bro, that God protected you. He protected your family, and He protected your legacy. But have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, it's funny that you said that, because I often think about that. Me and my mother would talk about this, say, if I'd made the league, I might not even be here today. I could be dead, literally, because of the pressure and all the money and just everything pulling at you. After a while, you get to a breaking point. Yeah. Anybody, we're human. So I say, well, Lord, you allowed me to go through these trials, but you really protected me, because you knew it was on the other side. I didn't see that then, and I'm looking out of a different lens today. It's been a rebirth.
So when I was a child, I thought as a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things.
Hey, I was thinking about, the Bible says that He sees the end from the beginning. So He sees it all, man.
Right. Yes.
And it's so awesome that He protected your life. I was also thinking about the fact that there's a lot of people out there that we may not know that have access to rooms, because you talk about boardrooms and stuff like that, being in those rooms, canon and stuff like that. There may be people that may watch that have access to these places. People out there that may have the finances to help with Academy of Ideas. So what would you say to those people that are looking for somebody to pour into to help push a vision?
That's right.
What would you say to them if they were watching right now and they had the access or the ability to help?
Tap in with us. Go to academyofideas.org, and send us an email and inquire about our program and how you can get involved. We're currently working on a partnership with the Boys and Girls Club to do a citywide league. And we're partnering with Cal State Long Beach as we speak, and the Boys and Girls Club and our Academy of Ideas and the Gift Foundation to bring 700 kids into the Long Beach State Pyramid for the game opener on November 5th, Long Beach State against Biola University. So, and that's the initiative. That's just the beginning. Right. And the goal is just getting these kids on campus, kids of color from the community, through the Long Beach Park and Rec, the Long Beach Unified School District, and the Boys and Girls Club, where they normally wouldn't have the opportunity. So that's a big part of the Academy of Ideas. We're bringing all the resources and the means to the inner cities and giving these kids opportunities so they can be successes where they wouldn't otherwise. Right. And it's not about money, because we're all about the VIP experience. So we're gonna have the finest shoes, the best clothes we can get for the kids, and provide all the resources academically, crisis counseling for people dealing with the mental health, as well as the COVID pandemic. This is a 360 experience.
Right. Yeah, come on.
So Schea, man, there's a lot of people that are out there who have money, all right? And as you said, that it's not about the money, so we understand that. But have you thought about a number? And I'll give you a second to think about it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because we never know who God will use. So all the things, let's just say, in a perfect world, if that person out there, or even if God put it in my hands or Pastor Trey's hand, to just say, hey, Schea, tell us what you need. We're talking about expenses to take care of your admin team, to fly you different places or whatever, hotels, facilities, to make sure we can shoot, do all the shoes and all the different things. Have you thought about a number? If there was a number to say, again, all the things that God would have put in your belly, to say, hey, Schea, just tell me the number and I'll write the check and you can do it and God gets the glory. Have you thought about that number?
Absolutely.
What would that number be?
For a fiscal year, as far as our foundation to run everything we want to do, top to bottom, when you're talking about traveling and everything that you mentioned with our tour and stuff, I say starting out about $1 million. Okay. Yeah, that would do a lot. I mean, that would help us run our league for the year. We'd be able to take care of our budget for administration, any volunteers that may be hired for the time being, to be able to make an impact with kids that may be at risk, that need more care and love and support than others, whether it's housing opportunities, things like that. It would take care of everything across the board. And it would be something that nobody has ever really experienced. These kids would be changed people for life. And that's what I think about, giving kids opportunities where they can succeed when they don't see any way out. Because that's my darkness that I've been through. I didn't see any way out. The Lord brought me through. It wasn't my peers. It wasn't my teammates that I thought was going to help that got the bag when I didn't. It was like they was glad to see me suffering. But the Lord said, that's okay, son. You keep going. Don't quit. Wake up every morning, you give me the glory. You take one step, I'm going to take two. Watch what I do. And I see him professing it now.
Yeah, I see God working right now, man. I believe that number, somebody's going to tap in and that's going to come. I believe right when you said it supernaturally, man, it was already manifest. And somebody's going to say, hey, man, I was watching, I saw it, and I'm able to do it and some.
Right.
We believe in
And
God
some.
for that. And some.
See, because I just believe because of your heart, that 1 million has nothing to do with your salary.
Right.
No.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
good, man.
Yeah,
You're so
it's
humble,
big.
Yeah,
man.
man.
It's big.
Because that's very selfless. Because a lot of people be like, okay, well, hey, 100 million, that didn't include and you didn't even include yourself.
Right.
Because again, you heard the question. What would it take to take care of your team, the people, and all those different things? That's pretty awesome. Last question that I have is, how can people get in contact with you? Multiple streams or different places. What can we, all those who are watching, what can we do to help support you?
Right,
Let's
because
say
there
we
might
don't
be
have
some people might not have 1 million, but they got something they want to give to what you're doing.
And
man.
where would they go?
And so if you could say that slow for everybody.
Take your time and put that out there.
For anybody trying to get a hold of us through our foundation work with Academy of Ideas, you could tap into us on our landing page at academyofideas.org. Once again, academyofideas.org. Anybody want to get a hold of me as far as the Man-Child documentary, want to get more information, you can tap in with me directly. Instagram at Schea Cotton, SCHEACOTTON, and that's on Facebook as well. I have a website, www.therealmanchild.com. You can buy merch there, you can get the documentary there, and you can get it on my profile on my Instagram. You click the link at the Genie profile at the bottom of my page. It'll take you right to it. Vudu, Roku, iTunes, Amazon Prime Video. We're on every platform, as you said, Trey, other than Netflix. Whether they pick it up or not, it's in the Lord's hands.
That's right. That's right.
Hey guys, we want to thank you guys for watching. Schea, man, thank you so much,
Thank you,
bro.
bro.
Man, I know that
Thank you, bro.
man, God is blessing this man. And I want to tell you all, we had an opportunity to spend time with him on yesterday. Man, super humble.
Yeah, we can't say that
Super
enough.
humble, man, the real deal. Man, if you have an opportunity to reach out to him, please do so. Maybe you got an opportunity to donate, support what he's doing. He's doing some magnificent things for young people, for his community, and we need men just like him. So, man, again, thank you guys for watching. Pastor Willie, you got something?
Yeah, man. Keep this brother and his family lifted up in prayer, because this legacy, we have to continue to trust God. See, this man of God, he decided not to compromise. His family didn't compromise, and God preserved him for greatness. So again, man, thank you, bro.
I appreciate y'all.
No matter
Absolutely.
platform, you can also do what God will have you to do. Whatever platform God has you on, you are a Christian first. So we'll see you next time on Bros for Real Kingdom Focus. Look us up again on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and remember, love, love.
Boom.